Hi, this is Freya with another singing tip video. Well, today I'm actually not giving tips, but I'm giving you my 5 cents about some singers who I think have great technique and some singers who I think don't have such a great technique. So please stay tuned. I think the biggest indicator if someone has a great technique is if they still sound the same and they still have this ease in their voice and the clarity that they had 20, 30, 40 years ago. If singers have been around for a really long time and they still sound awesome, then probably they have a really good technique. Now, there are a lot of young singers out there nowadays and they have great voices and they sing wonderfully. However, if you just really look at it from a very sober point of view and just look at the raw technique, I have to say there are a few singers around whom I believe in 20 years, if they go on the way they are now, their voices are going to be shot and they're going to be damaged. So here's my list of wonderful singers that I think you should listen to because they have a great technique. My #1 favorite of all times is actually Barbra Streisand. I think she has wonderful technique. She has clarity in voice. Her vibrato is so even and so smooth. It is wonderful. She has absolute pitch control. It is perfect. It's clean. She doesn't slur and slide. She does exactly what she wants to do with her voice, and it expresses itself in by just total control. And I think her voice is just so awesome. And she, over the decades, her voice has not deteriorated, and she could sing those long, high belted notes. She does sing high, but if you listen carefully, you notice she breathes deeply, she has wonderful support, and there's so much clarity in the notes. There's not raspiness. When she wants it to be, there can be a little bit, but she has a very clean and clear voice even after so many decades. Now, another female singer that I'm actually not that fond of her songs is Celine Dion. Celine Dion is a great singer. She has wonderful technique, and if you go to YouTube here and just search for female singer vocal warm-up or something, there's a video out there that has all different singers showing their vocal warm-ups that they do. And you will see that Celine Dion, she does a lot of classical exercises too. She practices her head voice and her chest voice. Now, like Barbra Streisand, Celine Dion has ease in her voice, and when she belts those high notes, they are so clear, they're not pressed, they're not pushed, they just float up there, and she has this absolute clarity. She doesn't lower or raise her larynx a lot. It's in a very neutral position, and even after so many years of being in the business, and she has been singing a lot over the years, her voice hasn't changed at all. It sounds like she still has this clear, very open sound. Now let's go to a male singer. I don't know. I was born a few decades ago, so I love Billy Joel. Billy Joel is one example for me for a singer who has so many facets in his voice. He has this rough sound sometimes, and sometimes he has this very clear and clean and light sound. Sometimes in some songs, I think he sounds like two different singers. It's like, whoa, is that the same person just now? But if you listen to him, you notice that he has great technique because he has clarity, he has ease. And even though he does this dirty color sometimes, it is still with a lot of support, not pushed, and he nails those notes. Perfect intonation. He's not struggling. You can hear that. He can hit, and he has a huge range. He can sing low and high. And even over the decades, again, over the decades, he still sounds the same after so many decades. I mean, 40 years later, and the voice is still the same. Okay, one more female singer, Beyonce. I think she has great technique too. She can have that rough sound, and she does some raspiness sometimes, but if you listen carefully, she does it in a very controlled way and with a lot of support, and she doesn't do it in a way that is not controlled. That's the key here. When you do sing raspy, don't let the raspiness happen by just overdriving your voice, because that'll push your vocal cords way too far. Beyonce has great technique. When you hear her high belted notes, they sound clear, they sound crisp, It's right on pitch. The vibrato is very even. Now the vibrato is often a very good indicator of the placement of the voice. So Beyonce, another great example, I think. Lastly, one more positive example, Sara Bareilles. I love her voice. She has great technique. You should listen to her, and she writes her own songs. She's an awesome singer. She has been around for quite a while. She's not that old yet, but also this clarity and ease, and she sings high, she sings low. She has good command over, how her vocal cords close. She sings very softly sometimes and have this more breathy sound, but very controlled, and then she can also belt out. Love her. Okay, now let's go to the negative examples, I think. Now, one singer I really love, but I think her voice is just getting worse, is Alicia Keys. When she was younger, like when she started out, her voice was so wonderful and clear, and she had this wonderful, clean sound. I just totally love it. Now, she is starting to get raspy. When you listen to her nowadays, first of all, when she doesn't sing high but has the soft notes, you can hear that there's breathiness in there that doesn't go away anymore. You can hear that there's some dirt in the voice and it doesn't go away. She doesn't have this clean and clear voice anymore. And that's a sign for your vocal cords starting to get damaged. And it doesn't mean you have nodules yet, but I think she has overdone it. I think she didn't have bad technique, but she just overdid it. She did way too much and always loved belting a lot, but just overdid it. And I think her voice has deteriorated. And when you listen to her high belted notes now versus 10 or 15 years ago, it sounds a lot different. So for me, that's too bad because I really love Alicia Keys. So another one is Demi Lovato. Now, while she is an awesome singer, she has so much heart and soul she puts into it, and she gives it all. She is awesome. And like the song Stone Cold, it's craziness. And that's craziness singing, really. But by really going to the limit without actually having a really good technique, I think if she continues, she's going to have pretty much damaged vocal cords in a few years, and if she doesn't already. Because you can hear in her sound, she cannot even sing a single note that is absolutely clear and has no sign of breathiness. She always has, you hear that the vocal cords don't close very efficiently and that she always has this kind of dirt, quote unquote, in her voice. And if she continues just to push it to the absolute limit without having the foundation of a really good technique, it's gonna get a lot worse. And I would hate that for her because she's an awesome artist. Now, you hear me say that. I love all of these singers. However, I'm talking about technique from a standpoint of longevity, being in the business for 30 and 40 years and still being able to sing the same way. That takes good technique. Now, also Rihanna, I think also when she belts out, she just overdoes it. She screams it, she yells it, she pushes her larynx, and then it is not clear anymore. See, the thing is, even if you can hit those high belted notes, maybe you shouldn't always just do it for any price. Just make sure you get them with ease instead of just killing yourself. And some singers kill themselves over just getting those notes. And yes, they can do it. They can get away with it. They can hit those pitches every time and they sound amazing, but they're really pushing very hard on their vocal cords, and that does take its toll. So thank you so much for watching today. Let me know if you have any other ideas, like what singers do you think have awesome technique and what singers can you tell have a deteriorated sound already. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I do Instagram stories sometimes, and I'd love for you to follow me and just to connect with me there. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget, always keep a song in your heart and always keep on singing. Bye.